Hi, my name is Jenna Brew. What does it mean to be culturally competent as an educator? I think being culturally competent as an educator means understanding your students' culture and how it relates to their identity, then being able to adapt to the diversity within your classroom to meet different teaching needs of all your students. Where do you see yourself on the cultural competency continuum chart and why? According to the Cultural Competency Continuum chart, I see myself in the Cultural Competence column. I place myself in this column because I am willing to advocate for students in the minority who need extra assistance. I am willing to put in the extra effort to watch them succeed inside and outside of the classroom. For example, when I was subbing a few weeks ago, I was in a classroom assisting a teacher during math time. This is a second grade classroom who had many ELL students. The teacher explained the math instructions in English and then let the students work on their own. There was one student who had no idea what was going on because she speaks little to no English and didn't have a translator nearby. I went over to help her the best I could, knowing I was going to struggle to communicate with her. I wanted to make her feel heard and seen even though she felt lost. I have taken 5 years of Spanish but have not practiced speaking it within the last 2 years. I came up with the vocabulary I needed to best explain what was expected of her during this math time. I used blocks to demonstrate how to add one-digit numbers together. By the end of my time working with her, she had completed all the math for the day and was doing problems with little to no assistance. I know this time and extra attention made an impact on her because every time I now see her within the hallways, she comes and gives me a hug with the brightest smile because she knows I will try my very best to communicate to her in her own language to create a relationship with her. What will it take for you to get to the next step or to deepen your cultural competence, including understanding your own bias, teaching in a diverse classroom, and implementing strategies for ensuring a safe and supportive classroom for all students? To move myself from the cultural competence column to the cultural proficiency column, I think I'll need to make my voice louder and heard to more. I can work on dropping my personal biases by immersing myself into uncomfortable situations that will promote learning in areas I am less proficient in. Additionally, I would like to get an SEI endorsement so that I can have ELL students placed in my future classroom to create a more diverse classroom. Lastly, I'd like to ensure I have created a safe and supportive classroom environment for all my future students. I plan on doing this in many different ways. A few of those ways are focusing on my attitude during the day because I know that it'll be mirrored by my students. I want to create a family-like feeling for all students within my classroom. I want to showcase students' talents by hanging up their artworks and projects within our classroom. I plan on creating a classroom to ensure safety for all students and guests within our room and make sure it is our #1 priority. What are some specific research and readings, tools, resources, or trainings that you might use to further your cultural competence as an educator? As mentioned before, I would like to obtain a SEI endorsement so I can have ELL students within my classroom. To get this endorsement, I'm required to take a 45-hour course developed by Arizona Department of Educator's Office of English Language Services. Well, what will it look like to have cultural inclusivity in your future classroom? In my opinion, having cultural inclusivity in my future classroom will look like fostering inclusion, setting time aside for relationships, and communication with parents and guardians. Often we focus on the diversity within our classroom and can sometimes forget about the inclusion aspects. I will create a classroom where everyone feels welcome despite any differences they may have. This will look like accommodating to the needs of my students. Secondly, building a relationship that is not just based around school subjects is important to me. I will make an effort to learn individual facts about each student in my classroom and praise them for their unique contribution to our class. This will come in forms of verbal praise and visual praise, such as displaying their artwork around our classroom. Thirdly, I want to be in regular communication with their support systems at home. I want to provide feedback on how their student is progressing and performing, as well as giving constructive criticism as ways they can improve as a student in my classroom. How will you ensure you are respecting students as individuals with different personal backgrounds and various skills, abilities, perspectives, talents, and interests that do not align with their spiritual beliefs and moral beliefs? I will ensure I'm respecting students with different backgrounds, skills, abilities, perspectives, talents, interests that do not align with my spiritual beliefs and moral values by showing them Christ-like love. Because of the position I will be in as an educator, most students will not know where my love stems from and why I have daily joy. To maintain professionalism, I will not speak on my beliefs and treat everyone with respect in a loving way. Thank you.